All right, you guys, what is going on? This is your boy Town. So I decided I'd do it live because sometimes it's better to do these lives than try to edit and piece together some videos and all this stuff. I enjoy doing that, but sometimes you just want to go live. You want to get that live reaction. But anyway, so Max B, a guy who did 18 years in the joint, came out, put together a hit song with French Montana. And by the way, that was a dope song, Go Deaf on the Bitch. And I feel based off what's going on, that is the key word for black men. Uh, and tell black women, get on the A game and stop being lame. We need to go deaf on them. You don't have to flip over to this and women go date non-black women. If you choose to, so be it. But if you seriously trying to be with a black woman, at the end of the day, we have to freeze them out because they didn't got besides they self. And it's time to put them back in their inner body because no. But nevertheless, great song. But Max B was on $1 million worth of game. Shout out to, Gilly and Wallow. Gilly gave me a shout out. I did a quick interview with Gilly. Gilly comes to a lot of fights. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be in attendance for Boots versus Xander Zayas. But Max B said something that was absurd and he doesn't believe it. But at the end of the day, it's a clever way to get people talking about him, is to get his name in the algorithm. And I'm gonna give him what he's looking for. I'm gonna give him attention, but I'm gonna give him the attention where like he knows that he's lying. To sit up there and say that he should be in the same category with, Jay-Z and Nas and Biggie and all that kind of stuff. I gotta say this about Biggie. I was a notorious BIG fan, but it's just hard to have Biggie in that GOAT conversation because he doesn't have a big enough catalog, a big enough body of work. We only got like, you know what I'm saying, two full-fledged albums out of him, you know. So he doesn't have a body work, but he could have been one of the all-time greats. I have him, listed as special, but I just can't have him in that GOAT conversation because he only released two albums, and one of the albums was released after he passed away tragically. But when I hear guys like Max B talk and say their pen is nice and they're true, okay, cool. That's cool. You believe in yourself. It's cool to believe in yourself, but then don't say something that's absurd. Just like there was this conversation with some youngsters. I'm not going to use that terminology YN. I don't like using that terminology YN. I don't like that at all. You could just say some young cats or some youngsters or some some younger dudes. I don't like using that terminology. There's just certain terminology I'm not going to use. Not using that terminology YN. So you won't ever hear me use that word YN. And if I use it, please check me on it. You had some young fellas talking about that SGA is better than Michael Jordan. There's just certain things that you just laugh at. You just laugh at. SGA, there ain't even no guarantee that he gonna get past the Spurs because I think the Spurs are coming. And that's just real talk. To sit up there and say something so insulting, and then you can't even make a valid point, you can't even argue. It's just something that's not even debatable. I wouldn't even entertain a debate about whether SGA is better than Michael Jordan. Like I said, call me when he wins 6 championships. Call me when he wins 6 finals MVP. Call me when he wins 5 league MVPs. Call me when he wins, 6, 7, 8 scoring championships. Call me when he scores over 32,000 points. Then we can have that. Then we can have that conversation because that's just laughable. When I hear people, like I said, if y'all hear somebody even try to debate with you, just walk away. Just make them look stupid. Don't even entertain that. Now, if you want to debate about whether LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. That's a decent debate, but at the end of the day, you still got MJ. The only debate on who's to go, to me, in the NBA, the greatest that ever played is out of Michael Jordan, Kareem, you know, those type of guys. Maybe Magic Johnson, and you could, real talk. But other than that, no, no. Or you can make an argument for Tim Duncan. You know, because I'm gonna be honest with you, Tim Duncan. If Tim Duncan, like Tim Duncan was one of them dudes, he was a prolific scorer. He scored really easily. If Tim Duncan was one of them dudes that was focused on scoring, Tim Duncan could have averaged 30. Tim Duncan could have led the league in scoring. Tim Duncan could have averaged 30 points a game if he wanted to. But he had a career average like a 24, 25. So that's the point that I'm trying to make. But anyway, nevertheless, I digress. Let's get back to this Max B thing. Max B ain't even in the top. I can name for real. Has he? When was he? Like, has he even put out a full-fledged album? Has he even put out a full-fledged album? How can you even sit up there and say that you better than those dudes when you ain't even put out a full-fledged album? And if he did, how many albums did he put out? How many classics do he got? We go by greatness by what you put out, when you put them out, how did they fare when they were hot, and how they are 10 plus years later. See, you can put Nas, because Nas still got hits. He got classics. Illmatic, he got classic songs. The world is mine. Just he got classic songs. It ain't hard to tell. Represent them type of song. Ether. Got yourself a gun. Jay-Z, even though I think Jay-Z is a little overrated, Jay-Z got, of course, Jay-Z got Ain't No Nigga. Then one of my favorite albums that people don't like to talk about with Jay-Z was the Rocket Familia album, where Bay Area producer Rick Rock did a lot of the joints on the album. So that's different. But for Max B to sit up there and say, "Hey, come on, man, damn well you ain't better than DMX, Darkman X, who came out the gate with hit records. Get at me, dog. I'm slipping. I mean, party up. What these bitches want from a nigga? I mean, come on, man. They don't know who we be. Shot down. X gonna give it to you. Like, dude, stop saying that stuff. Then you saying you better than the God MC, like Rakim. I ain't no joke. Like, for real, what hits do you have, bro? People gotta stop this. Yeah, you can make an argument about Hakeem too. I stand on this. I stand on this. This is real talk. That Houston Rockets team that swept Orlando, they would have beat the Chicago. So Hakeem's up, Hakeem up there. But yeah. Yeah, Rough Riders anthem, Damien. What is it like, Max? Like, stop saying stuff like that. You ain't better than Cube. You ain't better than Scarface. You like, bro. You just can't, man. You just can't be saying stuff like that. You not that's one. You not better than Cube. You not better than Snoop. You not better than Too Short. You not better than none of them dudes. So I don't even know why you gonna sit up there and like and try to fool people and try to, like, sometimes people, it's an old saying, it's not a lie if you truly believe it. Sometimes people believe their own lies. Sometimes people lie so much they will convince themselves that their lies is the truth. And Max B, like I said, it worked. He getting attention, and people was like destroying him for even saying something like that or having the audacity. Like, I wouldn't even entertain it. Like, I would have told Max, like, Max B, Max, if you don't stop it, man, we gonna end this interview. There are certain people you just gotta say, hey, man, just stop it. You know. Real talk. There's certain things you just don't even entertain, that you don't even engage in conversation. Because if you engage in that conversation with the person, you make it like he has a point, that something that he's saying is relevant. Like people like that, you just shut them down. You don't even entertain the conversation. I would have told Max B, man, Max, if you don't stop it, man, we gonna end this interview. I'm not even gonna continue to let you spew foolishness out your mouth. You making yourself look bad. And like I said, and the thing that bothers me is once again, you get these dudes like Max B that try to like hate on our forefathers pop. Like I said, once again, Max B, I can name 50 rappers. I and as much as I said, you ain't even better than the white boy. You ain't better than none of the white boys. You ain't better than Everlast. You ain't better than them. You ain't better than the MC Search or Pete Nice. Like, dude, just stop it with that BS. Just sit up there again. Like, man, Big Daddy Kane was one of the and I'm gonna do a video about Big Daddy Kane one day. Like Big Daddy Kane kind of fall in that same category with Heavy D and MC Hammer, guys that didn't really, Big Daddy Kane didn't really start using profanity to his like third album, because they kind of was like forcing him to like go that route. Because most of the time, for the majority, the first couple of albums, Big Daddy Kane was relatively clean, and Big Daddy Kane was one of them rappers. He real nice, and he tried, but he could rap his ass off. Lyricist like I don't like nobody's business. And when you would watch Big Daddy Kane perform, go look at Big Daddy Kane's old, old school performances. Big Daddy Kane, go look at Big Daddy Kane, I Get the Job Done. He fell in that category where he would perform, he would have the dancers and all that kind of stuff. But then, the industry, the powers that be, they wanted to move in a direction where they wanted to promote strictly this, street rap. And then some of these guys that were rapping wasn't as street as they pretend to be. So they felt like they needed to push those rappers out the way. So Big Daddy Kane, Kid and Play, they got pushed out the way and stuff. Father MC, dudes, Heavy D. Even though Heavy D managed to stick around for a while, that he didn't really get the backing from the promotional. He didn't get the backing from the record label MCA, because they wanted to go a direction. They wanted to push all the street stuff. Well, I'm not even gonna go as far to say he was trolling. He was just lying. He like some people, they don't even deserve the word trolling behind them. He was just lying. And he made a fool of himself. Like, dude, stop going on these podcasts, like telling bold-faced lies. And we got to start calling these dudes out on this stuff. Like, man, stop lying. There's just certain things that you ain't even going to engage in conversation with. I'm not going to engage in conversation with somebody that'll tell me that SGA is better than Michael Jordan and even try to even make a video. It's just undebatable. That ain't even a debate. Okay? Gotta keep it real, though. It's not even a debate. And like bro, stop it, man. You sound absurd, man. You might need to, one dude made a joke saying that he had to call Max B's PO and snitch on him for just because he got to be high to even suggest something like that. I'm trying to figure out, is there a full flip? You ain't better than Trench from 90 by Danger. Like, for real.